Hello and welcome to my video 6.3 Introduction to Linear Inequalities. So this video I'm just going to talk about these couple symbols here, these bottom four. Okay, so up until now in 6.3 we've been looking at linear relations or linear equations. So the word equation means that things equate. Okay, or they are equal. Okay, so that's what this equal sign is really showing, that two sides of the equation equate to one another, or they're equal to one another. Okay, whereas inequalities is the opposite of that. So they're not equal. Okay, so these are not equal sides. Okay, so one side of the equation is bigger or smaller than the other. So the way I remember these is the bigger side of our little triangle, or I think about it as an alligator. I don't know why that helps me, but I think of this as a big alligator's mouth with little teeth in here, right? And it always wants to eat the bigger fish. Okay, so the alligator wants to eat the bigger fish, but it's on the smaller side here, but it's got a really big jaw. Okay, so the bigger side of the sign is the bigger number. Okay, so let's just draw that again. So this is big, small. Okay, and if I do it the other way, you can still see this side is smaller and this is bigger. Okay, so for some reason alligator thing helps me remember it better, so hopefully it helps you as well. Okay, so we have this so far. So small, big. And we said these are not equal. Okay, so they're inequalities. They're not equal. So this first one here, the left side is the smaller side, according to what we said before. So the sign is something is less than another thing. Okay, the next one is the opposite, greater than. The next one here is where it gets a little bit funky. So now we have that little triangle thing, but now we can add this little line underneath. And if we add the line underneath, it stays the same, except that it could also be or equal to. So this one here is less than or equal to. Okay? And so this one will be greater than or equal to. Okay? So that's just the general gist of it. Okay? So hopefully that helps. But we're going to start looking at some of these inequalities, and I want to just point out that all the stuff that we've been learning in 6.1 and 6.2 is the same thing when we get to inequalities. So let's just show this equation as if it were from 6.1, 6.2. So first thing we do is opposite bedmass, so minus 2, which gives us 6 equals 2x. Then we have to divide by 2, which gives us 3 equals x. And before we were able to just switch those around and it was fine because they're equal. Now this one, there's only going to be one step here that's going to be different. Okay, so we'll see that. But all the rest is the same. So minus 2, 6, but we have to keep this sign, instead of equal, we have to keep it greater than. So 2x, divide by 2, 3 is greater than x. And so now we cannot flip it around and say x is greater than 3. That doesn't work, okay? If you're going to flip it, you have to have x is less than 3. So the side that's smaller is pointing towards x there. So it needs to be the smaller side pointing towards x here. So same thing. So if you're going to flip it, you have to flip the sign too. So you'll see that. And I'm going to do this next one the same way. So minus 2, we get 6. Whoops. 6 like this. Then we divide by 2, divide by 2. Then we have 3 is less than or equal to, whoops, to x. And if we want to flip it, we can go like this. Now, I'm going to suggest that you don't do this bottom step here. Don't flip it. Whatever side x is on, leave it on that side and work with it there. Okay? Don't flip it around. It might make it confusing. Okay, so the only difference is the result. So once we have this result, now it is different. Okay, so let's take a look at how that would look on our number line. Let's use green. It's nice and bright. So first of all, the equals sign. If x equals 3, which is our first one, x equals 3, we'd put a dot here on 3, and it would be a filled-in circle. And now for x is less than, oh, you see our symbol flipped. So we have to make sure that we flip this symbol. I don't know for sure what I did in class, if I did this right. But I'm just noticing here that I flipped the symbol, so I have to flip it here. Okay, so we're at 3, but it doesn't include 3. So it's saying it's not equal to 3. So I want to circle 3, but I don't want to fill in the circle. And it is anything less than 3, so now I draw my line. Maybe I make this like a broader thing here. Okay, and I draw my line all the way to the end of my number line and draw an arrow. Okay, and now I've got 3 and it's greater than or equal to 3. So I'm going to put my little circle on 3, but I'm going to fill it in. I'm going to drag it across and continue my arrow. So hopefully that shows you a little bit of an introduction to inequalities, and good luck.